Nobody's here yet. Is it connected?
Somebody's here.
Who's here?
I don't know. Hi. Welcome to Tasting Tuesday. Why would I be doing that?
It's Herbal Tasting Tuesday.
It's Herbal Tasting Tuesday. We're in Colorado.
It's almost 420. It's
Okay.
Herbal. Hello, Gina.
This
Hello, Kristen.
is
Or Kirsten.
rosemary. I can't see it because I don't have
Sunglasses.
my real glasses on. So we told you that we were going to do... We're just pretending we've never done anything like that. So this is Herbal Tasting Tuesday.
See the herbs? The real herbs.
Herbs. These are actual cooking herbs. These are
Herbs.
herbs. So we were just funning ya.
Just
Good,
goofing.
right?
What's happening in Colorado? Right. So
Hey,
we want to show you something else. What happened yesterday?
what did we do yesterday?
Oh my goodness. Where were
Oh,
you?
Here's the mistake.
I know you
of
can't
this
see.
part. We can't see anything. Hey, what'd you do yesterday?
I went to Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
You did?
Yes, we drove and spent the night in the Walmart parking lot in the car,
That's making me sick.
and it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really cool. We were in a park, and we were in the totality zone, so it got dark. It was so cool, and everybody was so happy. Like, if you saw the eclipse, most people saw the eclipse, some people didn't. But if you want to drop in there, like what city or town you were in when you saw the eclipse yesterday, that would be really fun. I would love to read about that.
Yeah.
And if it got dark, or if you had any like thoughts about it, because I totally cried. I was very moved by the whole experience. It was neat.
It was. And I was not in the path of totality, but I'm very much looking into traveling for 2024 because even not in the path of totality, it was such a cool experience. We were in North Glen,
Okay.
so we
You
were a little
a
further
smidge
closer.
closer.
And I will get into it, but I actually went to an isolation tank in the
Oh.
morning.
Yeah, right.
Talk about
What a trippy
hey
day.
Colorado.
Ooh.
I was not high. Man, it was so cool though. It was so highly recommend. Anyway, and then my friend and I went to lunch.
I thought you were saying highly recommend an eclipse.
I
Wyoming
highly
get it?
How did Wyoming get that eclipse? Next time, can we make sure it's not on a school day?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Gosh, so many people, and no offense to anybody on the East Coast, but so many people on the East Coast, they didn't let their kids outside.
I know, I heard there
It
was
was
some
so
like
sad.
kind of like people were worried about lawsuits in their eyes.
Oh, so sad. Linda Akey, she was there. She saw totality. I see.
Hopkinsville.
Oh, Marty! Guess what we're going to talk about today? You
Copycats.
can't even guess. Anyway, so the eclipse was so cool. And even when we weren't in totality, I'm trying super hard not to be all jealous of the totality people because it was
I think it was
so
incredible
cool.
everywhere, probably.
It was incredible. We were sitting on this patio at, by the way, a great Mexican restaurant in North Glen. And the patio lights came on.
Yeah.
And the temperature dropped. So I know you guys all experienced it. What was so cool about it, I thought, again, and this kind of speaks to what we're going to talk about today, which is we're going to talk about the grapes, we're going to talk about the herbs, we're going to talk about all of that. This was a natural phenomenon. Like, this was like a thing, like it wasn't a basketball
Way
game or a
beyond
Super
us.
Bowl
Nothing
or
that we
something.
could plan.
Right, and the whole country was watching at the same time. And then I sort of like the sad part of me was like, we could all get robbed right now because we're all, you know. Anyway,
It was cool. It was really
so
iconic
cool.
to see photos yesterday of people all looking
Yeah.
up at the sky. It was
Yeah.
really neat.
Like whole families and stuff. And I had my family on because we were so far north. Our appointment, we made it early, but we didn't think we'd make it back in time, and we wouldn't have. So like I have my family group text, so we were all texting each other, and it was such a momentous experience. Okay, enough about that. Are these live videos public? Yes.
Totally.
They are. Yeah, they're for everybody. Please invite folks. Come on down. So we're going to talk about herbs and wine today, but kind of before we get into that, and I want you to know that I chose Sauvignon Blanc and Merlot. And the reason I chose these, if you saw my post earlier, you could see there was like a chart of pairings between wine and herbs, and these two guys pair with the most herbs. So initially I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to open like 6 bottles of wine. We're going to be drunk. That's not going to happen. I could not figure out how to drink all that wine. So just these two, because they pair with so many different things. So the way this all started was we were actually going to do our Guess My Gadget. And I had purchased this thinking it was going to be a really cool sensory experience. And like that it had spices in there that we were going to pair. So this morning I was like, hey, let's do Guess My Gadget. And then I pull it out. It's actually, I got to plant an herb garden and I didn't actually have time for that by 4 o'clock. So I went to King's.
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I had no idea.
It's a true story. So I was like, well,
I should have had you shop for me. I have to go to the grocery store after.
You should stay for dinner. We have that training today.
I have my final dinner with my college child leaves in the morning.
See ya!
I love you.
Somehow when it's time for them to go back to school, they make it so much easier. Okay. We're going to start out with our Sauvignon Blanc. And in addition to being one of the wines that pairs best, sorry, we're super snuggly today. One of the wines that pairs with the most herbs, it was actually the topic of our conversation on our wine education with Mari Coyle today. I don't know if you guys can tell how much we love Mari. We love her like a lot. So today she talked about vinological development. Ooh, look it up.
I feel like I couldn't even. I took notes. I could not spell that word. I was all, what'd she say? Vinological?
I feel like you spelled it fine.
I did.
So what that is it's the development of the grape and the vine, etc. So she kind of walked us through, and the reason that she did, coming back to the Sauvignon Blanc, is it's almost time for harvest. And the first thing they're going to harvest is our Estate 8 Sauvignon Blanc. And amazingly, I didn't have a bottle of that.
Oh. You've got plenty of bottles.
All these bottles, none of them Estate 8.
These are, by the way, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but I just like to point this out. This is a trophy wife. This is a trophy bottle that Lori got, and look how many she has, like 12.
Thanks, Barn. I don't have 12, but yes, I was very, very grateful to have gotten some awards. So I don't have the Estate 8, but I do have our core Sauvignon Blanc. It is absolutely delicious. The cost partner with this is an organization called Trees for Trees, and they plant, I don't know if we talked about that? Probably.
I don't think we have, but
anyway, they plant trees. Hence the name. Every 2 bottles plants 1 tree. So we're going to go ahead and start this. Do you know what I forgot to bring out here was those charts?
Oh.
So I can pull them up on my phone while Marnie talks.
Sauvignon Blanc. I'll just do this for you.
Oh, thank you.
So we look at the wine, we sniff the wine, smell it, we swirl it, I'm getting a little better at swirling, not much though. And this wine is one of my favorites in the summertime because it is so nice and light and crisp and aromatic. It's delicious. So I love this one.
Yeah. So some of the pairings, the herb pairings. So when we're talking about herb pairings, we're not necessarily, although in a lot of cases I would just eat a bite of basil. We're not really talking about eating the herbs with the wine. What we're talking about is when you cook something, if you use some of these herbs that are going to bring out some of the aromas and the flavors in the wine that might not otherwise come out. So I actually did make us a little something with basil. Okay. So
looks so good.
So
you guys got to see this. Lori did it up right today. I mean,
anyway,
that's tomatoes and a little mozzarella. I like the
basil, and this is a really common.
The theme of the crackers are separate.
Get all the herbs. I know.
Nice.
I know, and all the cheeses have herbs.
Yeah.
I would say let's just take a little bite. So we took a little sip. I took a bite of basil. So maybe you want to take a sip.
I did too, but
and then did you?
And then the food.
Anyway,
how do you taste? Do you sip and then the food, or vice versa?
I think I take a sip and then the food and then another sip.
I'm taking the food first.
She's eating the food first. My favorite pairings are herbs. Mari, you're just digging yourself deeper into my heart.
Get a room, ladies.
Okay, so what did you think about that? Right? Okay, so what is that? This is, by the way, an easy little appetizer to make. It is literally a hunk. I know you guys have all seen this, but it's just a hunk of mozzarella cheese with a basil leaf and a tomato. And sometimes you can do, like, I'll reduce, I sound really fancy. I'll reduce some of balsamic vinegar to make it like syrupy and sweet.
Oh.
And then
You know
drizzle.
they sell that in stores.
I know, but you can make it. You don't have to buy it.
Okay.
You just put it in a saucepan. Okay, well, I mean, it's just easy. Anyway, but this is just plain with salt and pepper, and you just cannot go wrong with that. So talk about what you tasted, because I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. Ready?
So it really highlighted the tomato, the acidity was really nice. And then the basil has such a punch of flavor. It just really felt like the wine complemented that really well. So I don't know
Oh my gosh.
what you're getting.
It's delicious. I mean, I don't really know like how we're supposed to even talk about it. Put a little bit of bacon crumble on that. Oh, I bet that is good. It's dripping right now.
Bacon
Anyway,
jam.
bacon jam. Didn't we have that once?
They have it at a restaurant around here. Bacon jam.
Oh, good. Anyway, so that's just kind of a fun pairing. So we're gonna kind of walk through. I don't think we'll do all the herbs, although we have cracked pepper crackers. These are rosemary and thyme crackers that you can find in some of our gift boxes. I think the Grape Crate has these. They're really crunchy though, so I'm not going to eat it because you'd still hear it next week. And then over here we have, these are some of my favorite little crackers. See how thin they are?
Yeah, I love those.
They're the.
I used to not like them. I thought they were total BS crackers. I was like,
Oh, they're so good.
I love them.
Are they 303? Is that what they're called?
or 304.
They're local,
Oh.
which makes me think that they're 303 because that's our area code. Anyway, these are rosemary. Alina, we are trying the Sauvignon Blanc. I'm sorry that you can't see that and I can't move it because the bottle's propping up my phone. So rosemary
Just our
crackers.
core Sauvignon Blanc.
Of course, Sauvignon Blanc because Mommy didn't have any estate left. So what we're going to do, this is so cool. This is what we learned today. Rosemary and thyme, yummy with cab. Yay, cool. It's also, both of those things are on both the Merlot and the Sauvignon Blanc. So a lot of these things combine with both of these. So what we talked about today, what we learned about today was the vinological development, the development of the vine and the grape. And we talked about it because, again, it's time for harvest.
It's so exciting.
I
The
know.
bees and the birds. That's
They're
my favorite.
Such a hippie. So what Mari did was she kind of walked us through, like, what do you have this on your notes, the date, the
No.
months? So
I'll
it
just
starts
make
in January is when our vintage year begins. Makes sense, right? But what's cool about that is, what you might not know is that no matter when that juice is bottled, so for example, let's say it's aged for, I don't know, years, couple, 5, 10, 3, 7 years, it's the year that it was picked. That is the vintage year. So if you look at our Merlot, that vintage year is 2014. So those grapes were picked in 2014. They've been sitting since then in some fabulous place to be better. Anyway, so I thought that was cool. So in January, when we come back to the vines, they're dormant. And this is kind of what they look like. And that's all those vines and everything, that's all the wood. And they're going to prune that back so that it's just, I didn't print a picture of that, but it's just going to be like the stump. I don't know, it's not a stump. What do you call it, Mari?
The branch.
The branches, basically, right? So that's kind of what happens in January and February. They're just kind of pruning everything back. Everything's dormant. If you live in Colorado, our grass goes dormant over the winter. It's kind of like that. No growth. Nothing's happening. So the next thing that happens is, should we put our glasses? We should put our glasses down.
Yeah.
Ready? Wait, hold on. The next thing that happens in like March, late March, early April. And this is called,
Read what it says at the bottom there, everyone.
go
Says-
over that way.
This way?
Yeah.
It says bud break.
break.
Let's have a bud break.
Let's have a bud break. So anyway, we thought that was
It's a
funny.
demon party.
So that is exactly what it sounds like. If you saw that picture, it's when the buds start to break out of the branches and out of the vines and things. So the next thing that happens is super cool. And I'm not a gardener, so like for me, this is all pretty new and fun.
Yeah.
So the next thing that happens is called bloom. And that's when you see all those little guys pop out like that and all those little tiny things, they're going to become grapes.
Oh.
Okay,
The
so
visual
that's the
cool.
next thing that happens. So that's very, very cool. After that comes fruit set. Oh, come back. These are also known as little flowers. Okay, that's the flowering part. But again, it's called bloom, flowers, bloom, get it? So then the next thing that happens is in June, and this is fruit set. And we have two different pictures of fruit set because if you look at this one, these are just teeny, tiny, tiny little berries. But then sort of later in that part of the season, it's going to actually start to look like grapes, right?
Yeah.
Aren't these gorgeous pictures? So that is fruit set. And then the next thing that happens in late July and early August, this is a vocabulary word. Thank you, Mari, for sharing. Spur. She said that's called spur. So that must be before flowering. Okay, confirm if that's correct, Mari. Rosemary. Okay, I already said that. So you'll confirm that for me. The next thing that happens is veraison. That was my big vocab word for the day. And this is what veraison. So all the grapes, when they start out, they're all green. And then during veraison, which again is like late July, early August, that's when the grapes start taking on their color. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's when the green will start to turn to red for the red wines, and then the white wines will become more green, lighter green, more yellow, and they're developing all that sugar. And Mari talks about how they're out tasting grapes all the time. Prune to spur. I don't know, dude. You're gonna have to give me a better lesson than that. I'm gonna need tutoring because I got that part wrong. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Anyway, but that's
Here's
all
a
that
picture
sugar.
of the Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc grapes.
So I can talk about the bees and the birds
Okay.
effectively here because
Yes.
what we learned when I went to Napa in April, Tony Coletti was talking
Nope.
about
Tony Coltrane.
Coltrane. Sorry,
Sorry.
he was talking about how they know when it's time, and the bees start biting the grapes when it's sweet enough, and that lets the aroma out, and then the birds come along and eat them. And that's how they that's one of the signs that they know. And I think that's magic. So
It's super cool. And then Mari just talked about being out there tasting the grapes. Like they're going out constantly tasting grapes to see if they have the right amount of sweetness, if they're ready to harvest. So she basically said that harvest will be probably sometime in the next week or two. So what a fun time to be there. And I know there's lots of parties and lots of wineries do really fun things around harvest. And then I can't wait to hear the next step. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. It might be crush. I don't really know. But Mari's going to tell us all about that. It's one of my favorite things. Again, I know I talk about it all the time, but one of my favorite things about what we do is that we get all this awesome wine education. Although you wouldn't know it to listen to me because it sounds like I don't know anything. So I'm going to take this last little sip, and you've got some Merlot going. While she's pouring, I'm going to show you. These are Merlot grapes. These are harvested later in the season. And it looks to me like that's around October. What?
I spilled the wine down the side.
Oh, well, that's okay. And I know that we've talked about the cause. I got my hair done today. What do you think?
It looks nice.
See my highlights?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had highlights for a while. Merlot gives to an organization called End 7, and their goal is to eradicate 7 deadly diseases by the end of 2020. And it's the last I heard they had already eradicated 4 of them. So cheers to that. That's awesome. So this is our Merlot. It's going to be harvested later, allowing it to be a lot sweeter. And so I find our Merlot really sweet in a good way, like in a really rich, my mouth is watering way.
Plummy.
Have you had that?
Mm-hmm. I love the Merlot.
That's nice.
It's probably on my current list of favorites right now. The Merlot.
Current? Was that like a
Current.
like
Get it?
a current?
Pun.
Get it?
I'm
Gosh,
try
that's good.
I'm gonna try it again with this.
What are you gonna have it with?
That same thing.
Look, I got goat cheese.
I love it.
So I got some herbed goat cheese. I got a lot of food.
I know. I'm excited to stick around.
Gina, oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's the only Merlot I will drink. Normally not a fan, but what? Yeah, I will say this is really delicious. Despite anything. Hey, look who's here. Gwen's
Hi,
here.
Gwen.
Hi,
Cheers.
Gwen. Hi, friend. Sorry, you know that we can't really see this. I see Barry is here. I see Kristen is here. I don't know.
If you've tried our Merlot, you could tell us what you think of it.
That is delicious. And you know how, like for me, and I don't know if this is normal or right, but it's summer. I'm drinking all this white wine, which I love. Like, it's great. I haven't had a red wine in a while. And man, does it taste good. It's really delicious. It's very jammy. I get like, oh my goodness, it's so good. I get like some pepper on that, like green pepper though. I wonder what I should.
Try
What's that?
That's the
The herbs. This is herbs de Provence.
in goat cheese with the yummy 303
Hi, Trina.
crackers.
I actually don't think it's 303, but
I really think
they're really good crackers. If you're local, buy these crackers. They're not cheap, but they're so good. They're
good.
light and
that's
delicate.
good with that. The goat cheese and the Merlot together. Hi.
Hi. So what else do you want to talk about? What else is going on out of my mouth this fall?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Where's my grocery list?
here's kind of a cool little graphic to show you. I just want to check something with Marnie really quick, and don't laugh at me. That's us, right?
Yes.
Okay, just check.
It's a geography lesson here on the...
I can't park, and I'm not very good at geography. I thought it was right, though, so I want credit for that. But that's kind of cool. This is all the harvest. So for all the different grapes, this kind of shows when they get harvested. And Merlot is your wine. Awesome. So it shows like all the months that all of the different varietals are harvested. I think that's
I'll
really,
just show it one more time.
really cool. And I can post these too on this thread. But so I was going to say something else. Oh, I know what it was. We've been talking about this all month long, but we only have like 10 days. What's the date today? Oh, it's
Today's the
22nd. We have 9 days left. If you want to join us and get all this badass wine education, drink these
Have some
amazing
herb with us.
wines. Join us for some herb. It's $69 to join.
What's the worst that could happen?
I mean,
For real. You
I
spend
got-
$69 on 6 bottles of wine?
I can't get out of Target for $69, okay? Like, it's $69. Go ahead and give it a whirl. I'm constantly over and over and over, and I get all schmaltzy, and people are, I'm sure they get really tired of hearing of it, but I get to freaking make people feel good at my job all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody feels bad when they leave a wine tasting. I mean, in a lot of ways, right? But I mean, for real. Like, they drank wine, good wine, they did something good, they can go home and feel so good about the way they just spent their last 2 hours. And I get to feel good about it, and I get paid for it. And we're raising money for people. Like,
Yeah.
best job
Best $69 ever.
ever. Yeah. Is that called dead air?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, look, Gwen says she's in love with the Chardonnay.
Yay.
Gwen, that's awesome. That's very cool. Anybody have questions? Gina's agreeing. Best job ever. A lot of times the folks on these videos are folks that we work with, obviously. I know we usually get about 700-800 views on these, so I know other people are watching.
How about the first day of school when people like went somewhere and someone was like, I see you every Tuesday.
It's so
That's pretty
fun.
So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank
whoever's
you.
here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's so fun. We love what we do, and I am such a ham that I love this part. Marnie, I kind of bring her kicking and screaming every week. But then she gets here and she has fun, and it's a good time.
It's not kicking and screaming.
No.
It's just, I get nervous about going live.
I don't ever get nervous about going live.
What's this?
Oh, that's our dessert. We should have that with the Sauvignon Blanc, though. So I bought this lemon curd because Mommy loves lemon curd. And hi, Cheryl Lynn. Nice to see you. And then I didn't really have anything to put it on. So I found these
Is it a
cookies.
little biscuit?
They're like little biscuits.
I'm gonna eat it
Do you remember
in a
when I talked about the Mexican market?
Mm-hmm.
That's where these came from. So they're little sort of
Oh, so
cookies from...
It's so good.
Aw, thanks, Alina. You're the best. Anyway, it's lemon curd. So I think that would be super delicious. Oh, there goes the phone. With this Sauvignon
Let
Blanc.
me finish this up then.
You finish that up. Do you? Oh, you know, that's something we can teach people.
Yeah.
You want to grab the ice bucket? Let us teach you something. This is so cool. So, okay. Wow. This is very cool, though. When you want to go from red wine to white wine, you don't want to rinse your glass with water because water will change the pH of what's in your glass, which is going to change the flavor of the wine. So you take a little bit of the wine that you're going to, you just put a little bit, so you can see. I just put a tiny note. People are like, don't waste that wine. But look at the color of that. So it's kind of, you know, it's turned kind of that pink color. So you just put it in there, swirl it around, dump it out, and then you can pour your white wine.
Slap it, flip it, rub it down. Oh no!
So now you can pour your white wine, and it's still white. It doesn't have that pink tinge to it. So cheers with that, with the lemon curd. That's going to be delicious.
I'll share with you.
I'm still
I know.
drinking that. So, okay, you're going to share. Oh, did you take a sip yet?
Not yet.
I'm excited about that.
I don't want to get backwash.
Oh. I'm not worried about your backwash.
Lemon curd backwash.
Lemon curd, that's gross altogether. Okay, I'm going to take one
Ooh,
little
that's
bite. Is it delish?
Fresh.
I'm going to
Super
take a sip first.
I should have done it that way.
I'm going to tell you what.
It's gonna be good.
That's so good. Okay, one bite. Lemon curd. Mmm.
What else would you guys pair with some Sauvignon Blanc? What would you? What else?
Me?
Well, I've got a whole.
We've got a whole. Oh my goodness, that is so good. The lemon curd, but also the Sauvignon Blanc. Mmm. Sauvignon
delicious.
Blanc to me, golly, it totally changes the whole deal. Have you noticed? I got a mouthful. She's got a mouthful. The food changes the wine. Like we don't really do heavy duty pairings typically at our tastings, but man, I'm gonna tell you that's good. Elizabeth says she makes sangria out of it, which is fine. Do it. Yeah, with lemon butter pasta. Yes, Kristen, that sounds delicious.
Be right over.
We're having enchiladas tonight. Good thing I opened this Merlot.
I'm having fajitas.
You want to see something really funny?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Okay, put your glasses on. I can't put mine on. Put your glasses on. Yeah. No, your eclipse glasses.
I can't see.
I know, but they can. Ready?
But they can.
Ready? Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta go like this. Ready?
What am I gonna do?
Ready?
Oh.
Nothing. There's our eclipse. I just saw that today. I thought it was super funny. You can take those off.
There you go. We're
Okay, I think we've kept
you.
you long enough. Thank you so much for coming. Are you going to leave those on?
Shut up.
I'm
I
totally
can't see her, but
making faces at
oh
her.
my gosh. I looked at the sun yesterday.
Oh, there were so many cute memes. It's your moment, and it's your moment. Everybody's looking at you, son. And then the moon's all da 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 da. There were so many funny memes. All right, we're gonna go. We love you. We'll see you next week on
Drop us
Tasting
some hearts
Tuesday.
if you're still here. Let us know you love us. Bring it, bring it, bring it. I want to see some hearts.
I'm waiting for the hearts.
I know. I'm waiting.
Lisa Rubino.
No hearts.
All right, whatever.
Love
Bye.
you.
Love you guys.